In this video, we are going to cover best practices for submitting your weekly check-in. So this will appear in one of two ways on your home dashboard. Either it will show, as you can see in front of you, with the your check-in is today button, and it will be this big purple button in the middle of the home screen. If, however, it is not your time to submit your check-in yet, you will see it show up on the screen like this instead, and it will tell you when your next check-in is due. So in the case of Low Before, hers is due to be submitted today for a review on Sunday. In Amy's case, hers is due to be submitted on Monday for a Tuesday review. So ultimately your check-in day will be reflected as the day of submission. The day you will receive your check-in review feedback will be the following day. So when ready, we tap on the purple button, or if you're submitting your check-in a little bit earlier, if you've been requested, you'll tap the black area as shown previously. So we tap on the button and it'll take us through. Now, if we need to adjust the date of submission, you can certainly do that, but more often than not, this just simply won't be necessary. So you can just leave everything as is from the date and time standpoint. So the first question that you'll start with is one of the core principles at Team Precision, which is the idea that your actions must reflect your goals. So we ask, how well did your actions reflect your goals this week? And you rate that on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the lowest, as in it does not your actions did not reflect your goals at all this week, all the way up to my actions perfectly aligned with my goals. Now, this is an example, the first example within your check-in of the rating and reflection system, which is you give yourself a rating based on the question, and then you give context to that rating in the box below. And that's the case for the rest of these types of questions throughout the check-in. Now, moving on from that, we will still get into things like, is there anything you want to focus on for improving over the next week to better align with your behaviors and your goals? So these are what we'd call contextual questions as well. So there's plenty of these throughout as well. Now, we'll move on from that. Is there anything major, interesting, or different that happened this week? These questions are very important, and it's important that you are as expansive with your answers as you physically can be, so that you provide as much context to me as possible. Now, moving on from that, the third type of question that you'll come across in your weekly check-in submission is going to be these radio buttons. So it just gives you a choice of 2 to 4 answers for you to choose between. In this case, how would you describe your motivation to take action this week? Sessions, cardio, meal prep, etc. And it allows you to give a bit of a sort of temperature check on that. And then, of course, there'll be always that ability after any of these questions where you either choose a rating or a radio button to reflect on that or provide a rationale as to why. Now, I won't get into each of these in detail, but we cover all aspects from energy levels, stress, sleep hygiene, nutrition, training, so activity, training, cardio, etc. How was your training performance this week? And then we get into some more subjective stuff further down the line as well, which will come down to the bottom now. So once you've answered all of the main questions, for females, we also ask questions with relation to your menstrual cycle as well. It's important for us to know where you are at within that phase, along with any potential symptoms based on that week within your menstrual cycle. Moving on from that, we then look at some of the more subjective, expansive questions. Now, these are essential for providing context, as well as providing needed and necessary information to give you the right adjustments and feedback for moving into the following week. So this next set of questions really addresses behaviors and any concerns that you might have at any point throughout the week. So for example, did you experience any binge-like behaviors or urges? So it's an opportunity to expand on that. Did you experience any psychological difficulty during the week related to any aspect of the coaching or even in your personal life? Chance to expand on that. And then moving further down, we have this idea of intention setting, and it's very important. Is next week would be a great success if, and you give yourself those 1 to 3 clear behavioral targets that you're aiming for. Ultimately, we can look at numbers all day, but the reality is that our mindset and our behaviors ultimately drive our actions. So this is important to lay out and set a clear intention for yourself moving into the following week. We then have the opportunity at the end, and this is such a key component of the weekly check-in, which is your ability to make requests, ask questions, and ask for support as well. And nothing is off the table here, so it's really important that if you need anything whatsoever, that you really expand on that in this box here. Last but not least is just an opportunity that if there's anything within your nutrition or training that you feel needs to be highlighted or addressed for potential change, this is your opportunity to highlight that. That could be something as simple as an exercise which maybe isn't feeling right, or you might have requests related to your nutrition that require further discussion before changes can be implemented. So perfect place to address that here. Last but not least, Important update. So this refers to everything related to things like work trips, social events. Maybe you've got a wedding or a birthday coming up. Are you potentially traveling that week? It's important to know, and certainly in advance, so that we can discuss how we're going to navigate around those particular occasions. Last but not least, you do have then the opportunity to attach your progress photos for that week. Now it's up to you if you want to attach them here. You can also send them over WhatsApp as well, but these will just be your progress photos. If you're doing a photo shoot or contest prep and you're also sending flexed photos, you can attach those here as well. But often I find that in WhatsApp, if you're sending more than 5 images, it'll be better to send them there. Last but not least, if for whatever reason you feel like it would be quicker for you to just record a short 3 to 5 minute video, just giving feedback on your week instead, so that you're doing it in a verbal context or verbal manner, that's absolutely fine. It just means then if you're going to provide a video check-in, you will not have to write as much detailed answers or even write any details. If you prefer, you can even write in the boxes, refer to video, and it just means that I know that there's a video check-in review of your week that I need to pay attention to instead of reading the answers in the boxes more carefully. So that's absolutely an option. If you're someone who expresses yourself better in a verbal manner versus a written manner, please feel free to utilize the video check-in function as well. Other than that, this works very similar to the daily check-in. The only difference is that you can come back and edit your weekly check-in submission at any time. The only thing you need to be aware of is that you just press submit. Once it's submitted, you cannot resubmit it. If you do have to resubmit your check-in for whatever reason, you will have to refill out everything again and then submit it to then overwrite the existing check-in. However, if you just tap on the backward arrow, it will not give you the options to cancel, save or delete. It will ultimately just bring you back to the home page. So you can come in at any stage and fill this out and then submit it. So there's no stress to that. You can edit this at any time. If you want to submit, then you tap on the submit button and your check-in will be submitted, and I will receive an email notification that your check-in has been submitted. So it's very important that you do that once you've hit submit. I always appreciate if you do send me a little message just to let me know you have submitted your check-in, but I will receive an email notification that you have done so. Other than that, that is everything for this video on how to submit your weekly check-in.